Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Income Insight. Today, we're talking about Venezuela, a country that should be one of the richest in the world, but isn't, because of how its economy actually works. We'll explain back-end index pointing right, how Venezuela makes money each year, back-end index pointing right, which sectors pay the most back-end index pointing right, oil, gas, minerals, and informal markets back-end index pointing right, and how much Venezuela spends on its military. Let's start with the biggest fact. Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. It holds around 303 billion barrels of crude oil, about 17% of all global oil reserves. Oil Drum Part 1. Oil, the main income source. Venezuela's economy depends on oil more than any other sector. Small blue diamond key oil facts: largest oil reserves in the world, 303 billion barrels. Production in 2025, around 860,000 to 1,142,000 barrels per day, far below past levels. At peak in the 1990s, it was over 3.4 million barrels per day. Oil exports brought in about $17.5 billion in 2024. Venezuela used to export far more, but decades of decline mean production is now one-third of its historical maximum. Export revenues are tiny compared to countries like Saudi Arabia, which exports over $180 billion worth of crude annually. What does this mean? Back-end index pointing right, the economy still relies on oil for most foreign income, often over 50% of exports, but can't produce enough. The oil company PDVSA is the official exporter, but low production and sanctions limit both volume and revenue. Part 2. Gas. Potential but not yet a big moneymaker. Venezuela also has a huge gas sector. Small blue diamond gas facts: Venezuela ranks among the top 10 countries in natural gas reserves globally, about 200 trillion cubic feet. This puts it above many major energy countries. But here's the issue. Gas production is mostly used inside the country. Very little is exported because infrastructure is outdated and investment is low. So gas holds huge future potential, but today it does not bring large income. Part 3. Minerals and gold. Hidden wealth. Many people don't realize this. Venezuela isn't just about oil. It also has massive mineral wealth. Small blue diamond mineral resources: iron ore, 4.1 billion tons proven. Gold, possibly thousands of tons in the ground, but most mining is informal or illegal. Coal, nickel, bauxite, rare earths, significant deposits. The challenge: much of this mining is unregulated and unofficial. Illegal mining, especially gold, brings in cash outside the official economy. This money often doesn't show up in GDP or government revenue. So, back-end index pointing right, minerals are a huge source of potential wealth. Back-end index pointing right, but most of it is informal or illegal and may not help the country officially grow. Part 4. Economic growth numbers. Despite all challenges, Venezuela's economy shows interesting data. Bar chart growth trends: recent official data shows GDP grew around 8.5% in 2024. In early 2025, the reported growth was about 9.3% year-on-year. Hydrocarbons, oil and gas, and mining were major contributors to this growth. But on the flip side, the local currency, Bolivar, lost over 50% of its value in 2025. Inflation remains a serious issue. So the economy grows on paper, but everyday life and currency stability remain difficult. Part 5. Military budget. Now let's talk about the military budget. Despite Venezuela's oil wealth, its military spending is relatively modest. Small blue diamond military budget facts: Venezuela spends roughly $4 billion per year on defense. This makes up about 0.5 to 1% of GDP, depending on the data source. This is much lower than many countries of similar size. Most of Venezuela's government funds go toward social programs, subsidies, public spending, debt obligations. Military spending, while politically significant internally, doesn't dominate the budget like in some countries. Part 6. Which sector makes the most money? Let's rank the biggest income sources for Venezuela today. First place, Metal 1. Oil still the biggest legal source of foreign income. Production is under 1.2 million BPD, low compared to potential. Second place, Metal 2. Minerals and mining huge untapped potential, especially gold and iron. But much of it is informal and doesn't show up in official statistics. Third place, Metal 3. Gas huge reserves, future potential, but small current export income. Yellow circle, honorable mention. Remittances, informal economy, and street commerce. Essential for daily survival, but not recorded as official national revenue. Finally, so what's the real story about Venezuela's economy? Back-end index pointing right, Venezuela is rich in oil, gas, and minerals. Back-end index pointing right, most income still comes from oil exports, even if production is low. Back-end index pointing right, gas and minerals have huge future potential. Back-end index pointing right, the military budget is relatively small compared to the country's resources. Back-end index pointing right, much of the economy today survives on informal and everyday business. If you learned something new, hit like and subscribe. Bell. Comment below. Speech balloon, do you think Venezuela can unlock its true economic potential by 2035? Why or why not? See you in the next video.